Hey, how's it going? Thank you for coming back to my channel. It is a beautiful day today, Saturday. As you might know, we are getting ready for China in a week. Actually, a week from today, we are getting onto the plane. It's a lot of stuff to prepare. My wife, first thing she told me was go to get a shot. I said, what shot? Get a COVID shot. I said, why? And just in case you get sick, yeah, I don't know. Is that maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Remember when there was a COVID going on, China was the least country that got COVID infection overall. Not at the beginning, because at the beginning everybody had no idea what kind of virus was that, right? It was really tough at the beginning. I remember that. But after that, they managed the whole pandemic really well. Beside what Western people say, I can't remember last time. At that time, the United States told the world that they were the best pandemic control in the whole world. Well, remember whose president was that at that time? Huh? The one that they have right now. But anyway, yeah, I went to get a COVID shot on Thursday. Oh my God, I don't know what kind of brand they gave me, Pfizer or AstraZeneca. Well, next day, I felt like I got hit by a truck or something. Like shiver, cold, coughing, achy, up until today. Like even more this morning, Saturday morning, I still felt really chill in my body. I had to go back home after doing some bothering with my son. I had to come back home to just kind of have a nap. Now I feel much better with my body. I guess this is how it works with the vaccine, right? You get fake virus into your body, and then your body start building up the antibody, which makes sense. We're going away, we don't want to get sick. I remember in 2007 I went back to China in 2007, and I got sick, kind of like a flu or something, a fever. Like I had to stay in the hotel for like 2 days. We were supposed to go to Wasan that time. It was too bad. I was just so sick that few days. In Xi'an, actually, I was in Xi'an, and I got sick. It was a flu, I guess. I spent like 2 days in a hotel room. It was kind of bummer. But that's why my wife told me, let's get the shot for the children and us. That's a good idea, We don't want to get sick when we get there, right? Last time we went back in 2023, we didn't get sick. It was really good. The kid also got the hepatitis A shot, just in case the food over there. My wife wanted to get hepatitis B, but I told her, like, what's the point? Hepatitis B is transmitted through blood or sex. I don't think our children's gonna have some sex over there, right? Like 12 years old, maybe 15 years old one. Maybe he's gonna have some sex over there, but I guess not. Anyway, so it's pretty nice here today. You can see at the background, there's actually a diamond, there's a playground here. Sunny day for the last whole week. Can you believe that in Vancouver? Yeah, Vancouver around, when you see the, what do you call it, the cherry blossoming, and then spring is coming, and then the weather is going to get better and better, and drier, not raining all the time. It has been a week like this already. The weather's great. So right now I'm actually walking home. You can see my background. It's a wood. So I have to walk through a wood, which is nice. How often do you get to walk through a forest before you go home, right? I'm lucky. I'm just live right beside a little patch of forest. So on and off, I can feel the nature, I guess. Or right outside my window, I can see the patch of forest, which is really nice. Well, to be honest, I'm not used to walking. Maybe used to when I lived in Hong Kong when I was a teenager. I had to walk like at least, I had to walk to the station. I had to take the train all the way to my school. I had to walk to school, I had to walk back, everything walking when I was little. But since I come here, got a car, right? I just drive everywhere. Grocery, school, or even going out to have fun, or driving. Living in Canada, driving is a must thing. Well, I guess if you don't have a car, you have to take a SkyTrain. The life would be so different if you don't have a car. Maybe I should put it this way, then you can see more about the forest right here. Well, you see my hair? It's a mess. I'm not gonna cut it in here. I'm gonna go to China and cut it. You would ask why? They suck, Well, China suck, Chinese suck, right? No, it's not. They're really good. You pay like 60 to 80 yuan, which is like 10, 15, 10, 12 dollars Canadian. You can have a really nice haircut, and they massage your head. They spend like an hour at least with your hair. Even though you don't have much hair, they still give you a massage. It's true, right? The older generation, we don't have that much hair. So how long does it cut a almost bald guy, right? Like less than 15 minutes. So, but you pay the money. Right? So they massage you, they give you some acupressure, which is really nice. So I'm just gonna touch a little bit about current politics. Trade war between China and United States. Or I can say trade war between Canada and China, or United States and Canada. I came to this country in 1990. Came here to study business administration. I remember one of the subjects called marketing. Yeah, they actually touch. No, I actually know what. It's not marketing. Something like this. Okay. They talk. Yeah, it's marketing. They talk pricing. They talk product development. That 4 P's. One of the P they actually talk about. Just remember that time was the height of the NAFTA, North American Trade Agreement, and talking about China coming into the World Trade Organization. That was the time. And that was actually a subject. They were teaching us that North America is changing the model. They're gonna ship out all those low-end jobs abroad. Mexico or China or Southeast Asia, from where, and the West gonna control the top, like the technology part, the infrastructure, the intellectual part, or the upper level of the business model. So sounds familiar? But this is true. They had that kind of philosophy or ideology back in 1990 already. So it's not new, okay? It's not like overnight. It has been going on like this for like a long time ago. Like since 1990. You think about that. So that might be why you all the old folks talking about the jobs slowly disappear from North America. It's not because of someone stealing jobs. It's because North America changing the business model. They don't want to do those low-end shoemaking or heavy labor manufacturing jobs anymore. Well, they think about the way Okay, this kind of ideology or philosophy, business model, created by, of course, from the rich people, right? From the rich entrepreneurs or the industrials. Is that called industrial? Or the big money, big pocket people, rich people. Because that way they can maximize more profit by using a cheap labor, right? And now, 20, 30 years later, they notice that everything just made in China or outside of North America. Nothing's actually made here. And all those people with low skill or what do you call that? Average Joe Blow, they just cannot find a job anymore. But be honest, do they really want to start making shoes? Do they really want to assemble iPhone? Well, that's true, It's a nice job, right? Assembling an iPhone if they pay $25 an hour, which is almost impossible. You would say, why not? The question is, why yes? Right? You wish, they would pay you $25 or even $30 to make an iPhone or make a pair of sneakers or Nike. They just won't do it. Or, Trump is gonna, raise the tariffs so high that, they have to come back to do it. Well, that's true, when they come back to do it, and if they pay $25 an hour to make that kind of shoe, that kind of shoe would be like $300 a pair. Well, yeah, you make $25 an hour. A few hours later, you can actually buy that $300 pair of shoes. That's true. But that pair of shoes won't be able to sell abroad. Like, you can't sell a $300 American shoes abroad easily. You cannot sell to China. You cannot sell to Japan. It's just too expensive. People over there don't make $25 American dollars an hour. They only make less. And everything less over there, they who cares about them making less? Yeah, you don't care, but you just cannot sell your $300 shoes to them anymore. So your market will be limited to your own country. All right, that's fine. You can do that, limited to your own country. But once you have that, your market share will be diminished drastically. And then the rest of the world will be competed with cheaper shoes, not low end. I'm telling you, it's not low end. As everybody noticed that on the internet, there are so many Chinese manufacturers already exposed those brand name company in the world, Western company, showing them that they actually use the local Chinese factory as their OEM factory. If you know what OEM means, it's just they make their shoes, but don't make the label. They ship their product, almost finished product, to the United States or to Italy, and then they stamp the labels on it. Or they make the label. Oh no, they don't even make the label. They make the label in China and then ship the label to France or Italy, and then just stick it on it, and that's it. That's called made in Italy. We actually learned that from the business course too. If you actually study business in 101, I think it's 201. 201, they talk about that marketing, product. They talk about product. If you learn marketing, product. They'll tell you, what to do to make sure you bypass, those made in something area. So, I don't know. You're talking about Trump now is like caving. He charges 245%, and now suddenly he is going to drastically lower down the tariffs, right? But he said it's not going to be zero. But I as a Chinese, I totally understand what's going on, what's happening. So by Trump, by raising the tariff so high, 240%, basically you just tell Chinese, say, You just don't want to do business. Okay, that's fine. We just don't, well, we just don't do business. And they all, most Americans, they think, oh yeah, but America, a market is like 30% of the world, but they don't understand, yeah, 30% of the world, but not China, 30%. I think since 2010 or 13, I think what happened is 2008 or 2009, there was like the financial problem. And then I think China at that time learned something from the United States. They learned that you can't just keep buying American bonds or treasury bond once you get money, extra money, because it just doesn't work that well. So they have to diverse, which is in the business 101, diversify. You have to diversify market. You cannot put all your eggs into one big United States market. Yes, it was like really, really a big market back in 1990 or 1980. Even more than 50, I think 40-something% that time, even higher. And then that time United States manufactured almost like 40-something% the stuff out from the United States to the world. So at that time, it was really strong. So by 2008, after that, a banking problem. So I think, that's what I think. China learned something. Chinese government learned something. You can't really depend on the United States. So that's why they start the Belt and Road Initiative. That means, they rather spend their money, their hard-earning money. They just they make shoes for the West. They earn $10, which the Western Nike company sell for $150. They take all the profit. That hard-earning $10 earning from the Western company, they use those money to buy the treasury bond. They spend the extra money to help other countries to build their infrastructure. Or to upgrade their own infrastructure. That was the time they stopped building the high-speed rail. I remember when I went back to China in 2005, there was just only few high-speed rail. But wow, and then right now they're just crazy, the high-speed rail. You cannot imagine how many they have. They have more high-speed rail than, you just go check out the map. Oh, but but they don't have freedom of speech, No, they do have freedom of speech, but it's just not like yours freedom of speech. Your freedom of speech is, I like to, yell at the government. I like to make fun of the government. That's what your freedom of speech. Chinese, we don't really look at those as a freedom, because that is actually called disrespectful. Well, whatever you think, China has more freedom. The most important freedom is, I am not afraid to walk out at night. I'm not afraid of, getting mugged or getting you know what? I'm in Canada right now. I'm holding a camera. Nobody is mugging me. So I guess Canada has the same freedom like whatever United States talk about. I'm like China too, I'm not getting mugged. Right? So I don't know. Maybe it is actually the same. And when I went back to China, I actually were able to drink on the street. That was really funny, when I came to this country and then I couldn't drink at the street. That's just crazy. I remember when I was 16 or 17, I got heartbroken by a girl. I was so down. Oh, I picked up a beer. I drank all the beer, almost all the beer at the 7-Eleven at the street. I bought a gin, just drinking it at the street. No one bugs me. No cops come to see me. No, nothing. I was like 16. Fuck you, right? 16. I was able to just drink. No one bugged you. No police. No, nothing. They didn't really care. That was my right, I guess. Oh, let's get back to the trade war. So you see all those flip-flopping from Trump. And he thinks, flip-flopping actually is another negotiation tactic for Chinese. I think he made a terrible mistake. When he started the trade war, once he started, and China say, okay, I'm gonna start, trade war with you. That's it, There's no turning back. I think, Trump thinks when he flip-flop thing like this, no, I'm gonna go back to 0 or 10%, and China's gonna come back. I don't think so. I don't think China is gonna come back and talk to you. When Trump starts the trade war, and China like start retaliating, that means that's it. They're gonna go all the way. That's what I'm saying. It's like, like Trump right now, trying to flip-flopping, trying to go back to 10, hoping that that's gonna talk. I don't think so. I think China would actually stop the fray, at least for 3 months, and make sure that you guys in the state don't have any shit on the shelf, Walmart or Target. The news already talked about Trump's secret meeting with Target CEO, Walmart CEO to ask them how much inventory you have in the storage. They all say it's 2 weeks. So I heard the news from yesterday. So they say 2 weeks. I'm not sure is it true or not, but I would love to see that the shelf on the United States gonna empty out. Because they all say they don't need Chinese cheap goods, right? They don't need the piece of junk Chinese stuff. So let's do it, Yeah, that's what I think. China's government is going to do it. They make sure that you understand. They already stopped buying the soybean, beef, natural gas, or even the plane. The CEO of Boeing, he said, "Oh, if you don't take my plane or another contract, we're not gonna build plane for you anymore." Like this is really dumb fuck, That guy is really dumb fuck. He doesn't even know Chinese can build their own plane now. Oh yeah, piece of junk can't fly. No, they can fly. They have the 6th generation plane already, flying in the sky, and we're United States only on the PowerPoint. We don't even need to get into that anymore. At one point, I think China needs to teach the West a real good lesson, telling them, you need to wake up, guys. You are no longer superior like 1800 anymore. You can't just come into a country, slaughter everybody in North America, and then stole their land. I don't think the current government in the United States is going to last for a long time like this. But I think it's actually a good idea that China stopped buying a whole bunch of stuff, from the United States. It wasn't even tariff. They don't even need to use tariff. They just say, I'm not buying it. That's the best part of a Chinese government is, they follow through. So they understand that's a trade war. So if the government say, we're not buying soybean from the United States, they're not just going to stop buying soybean. They're just buying from someone else. Like right now, we know they're buying from Brazil. And beef, they're buying from Argentina because Argentina needs the money. So what they do is Huawei actually building the infrastructure over there. And then Argentina doesn't have money to pay, right? They use beef to pay. And Huawei sell back the beef to China like this. So they actually using the item to exchange their service. They don't need to use United States money anymore. They're using really just like 2 pieces of steak. I give you that, which is awesome. Like same thing to Brazil. They're using soybean, and then China is going to help them to build their infrastructure. What else? They need. Oh yeah, the natural gas. They used to have in 2018 they signed a really great contract with United States, buying a whole bunch of the natural gas from the state. During the war, Biden era, they make tons of money because of that natural gas go through the roof, right? And the contract stayed at the same price because it's a long-term contract. So they stay at a very good price during during the war in Ukraine. And even right now it's good, but now suddenly they have a new pipeline from Russia, and they don't even need to buy any natural gas from the United States. They can buy from Russia. Russia is needing some kind of money exchange, so China just helped them. Well, you gave me natural gas, we give you some item, like for instance drones, parks, of course. So I guess this is what happened. We're gonna find out in 2 or 3 weeks. If you see the shelf in the United States go empty, and that's what happened. And just make sure that they go empty for a few days, a few months, not 2 days, few months, and that way United States, the American would know they need China more than they think. All right, let's talk to you guys later. Make sure that you subscribe. Bye bye.